You know, when I first heard that they were making a movie about Kraven the Hunter, initially I thought, why? And then after I saw Morbius, I thought, why? And then I saw that poster of Aaron Taylor Johnson, and it all became incredibly clear to me that this movie is gonna suck, but I will only watch it because he's got his shirt off. Hi y'all, SnarkyJay cosplay here. So the trailer for Marvel's KRAVEN the Hunter, well actually it's Sony's Marvel's KRAVEN the Hunter, it gets confusing. But the point is, they're making a movie about KRAVEN the Hunter, the trailer came out, and personally, I don't have much hope for this film. Sony gave its Spider-Man rights back to Marvel, and now Marvel is the one who's been doing Spider-Man with Tom Holland. But Sony is still making movies about Spider-Man villains and trying to make them look like anti-heroes. They've got Venom, which was meh. They've got Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, which was even more meh. They had Morbius, which was just so awful that it became a meme, and it was enough of a meme that they released it into theaters a second time, and it somehow did even worse the second time they put it in theaters. And now they're doing KRAVEN the Hunter and Madam Web, and honestly, I think Sony gets more and more lost every time we check in with them. So with all these Spider-Man villain turned into anti-hero movies, it seems to me like what Sony is trying to do is to eventually have some Sinister Six versus Spider-Man type film, but nothing Marvel has done would imply that that's the direction they're taking Tom Holland's Spider-Man film in. Not to mention how incredibly off Sony's interpretations of these major villains has been. While I love Tom Hardy, I think that the Tom Hardy Venom movies do not feel like the kind of Venom that would actually bite Spider-Man's head off. They've just been weird, and even though they've implied that they're eventually going to be connected, it's not it. Morbius, I have no words. Jared Leto basically leads a cult, and that movie is honestly one of the worst movies I've ever seen. In fact, I'd love to see a crossover between the Jared Leto Morbius film and The Room. You know, the one with Tommy Wiseau?
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
And when you look at what they're doing with KRAVEN the Hunter, I really can't imagine it's gonna get any better. KRAVEN the Hunter isn't really that big a deal within the comics, but villain-wise, he's kind of just a guy that's a good hunter and considers himself the best. And now, in the new KRAVEN the Hunter, they basically made it into an almost Disney Plus She-Hulk situation where bloods got mixed and now he's got superpowers. And while Aaron Taylor Johnson is a very talented actor, and I will admit, I will buy a movie ticket just to sit there and stare at him for 2 hours, because let's face it, I'm lonely and I have nothing better to do. I really can't imagine that as a film, this is gonna be good. And if they're gonna start tying all these poorly written anti-hero villains together to eventually fight Spider-Man, they're basically just slowly spelling out disaster for themselves. And I don't think that Marvel is going to give up Tom Holland's Spider-Man in order to have him interact with any of these subpar villains. Granted, Marvel really doesn't have a leg to stand on anymore because a lot of their recent projects have been absolute dog shit, but I'm just saying, I think that Marvel still sees themselves as a step above what Sony's been able to do. It just can't get much worse. And that's all from me. I've been SnarkyJay. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts on Sony's KRAVEN the Hunter in the comments below.